Hi, you're listening to This Is Not Your Practice Life. I'm your host, Macy Renee, and we are going on a journey together, my friends. I'm a certified life and emotional intelligence coach, and if you really want to step into your highest self, there are a few non-negotiables you're going to have to learn, and I am just the person to help you do it. No matter your past, I'm here to help you create a more fulfilling future. So stick around with me. Not only will I teach you how to navigate your brain's daily mind drama, but I'll help you actually understand your mind, your emotions, why you do the things you do, and why others do the things they do. Most importantly, I'll help you build the self-awareness skills to create whatever results you want. It's never too late to change the trajectory of your life. After all, this is not your practice life. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of This Is Not Your Practice Life podcast. I'm Macy, and I am excited to welcome you back or to the podcast if you're brand new. So if you are brand new, welcome. I hope that you enjoy everything that you hear, that you find exactly what you're looking for. And if you decide to stick around, it is helpful to go back to episode 1 where it all started, because my episodes do tend to build upon each other. But if you don't want to do it that way and you just want to go with whatever your soul is calling you to, that's always amazing as well. If you ever have questions, you can reach out to me. And for those of you that are returning listeners, as always, thank you so much for being here. So today we're going to revisit a topic that I previously did a long time ago, back in the baby Macy podcasting days when I barely knew what I was doing with my equipment. I wanted to revisit this because it's been coming up this week. So if you're brand new here, you may not know, but I have a program called the Hybrid Experience, and my clients get a blend of group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and a luxury retreat at the end of the program. And it's so fun to cover so many advanced topics, but in that process, what I am finding is that it is bringing up a lot of the stuff that was maybe stuck in their system somewhere that they haven't pulled out, or maybe we even didn't pull out if they had done previous coaching with me before. So it's been really interesting in this program to watch, clients that I've had for years and clients that I haven't experience such aha moments in things that have been keeping them stuck, which is really what the hybrid experience is all about. It's them really defining what they want in their life, getting really clear on what it is they're trying to create in their life, whether it's super simple or it's, complex and big dreams. It doesn't matter. No dream is too big or too small in this program. And basically we dive into every aspect that is keeping them from having it now. And we coach really hard on why they're not where they want to be. So the program in general brings up a lot of stuff. And this past week, I had several of my clients tell me, I'm feeling very triggered, and especially after the last call. So the last call that we had, we covered the topic unintentional tolerance. And it was a really good call. I love the call. I have gone back and literally watched the replay like 4 times. I love it so much. I love seeing everybody's reactions and their aha moments that they're having in their head. It's so fascinating. And whenever we did one-on-one coaching, which we do the following week, where I get to meet one-on-one with each of them, we oftentimes coach on whatever is coming up for them. And a lot of times what I have found is that it's remnants of whatever we started discussing in the group coaching call. So this past week I had one-on-ones, and I had several ladies tell me that they felt very triggered in the last call. And through, diving deep and getting really curious, we unlocked a lot of the reason why. And I think it's powerful to have this discussion from the lens of triggers when you are in self-growth and when you're putting yourself in rooms where you're building your self-awareness. So this isn't so much about triggers from trauma. It's more so triggers from being put in a situation or putting yourself in a situation where you're getting really clear on what you want and what you don't. So in the simplest way to say this, whenever I asked the clients who felt triggered why they were triggered, their simple answer was people were mirroring to me things that I realized I'm doing to myself. So I want to go more in depth about this and what this means. So oftentimes, whenever we are putting ourselves in, I'm going to call this just a powerful room, and it doesn't even have to be my coaching container, right? It could be putting yourself in, let's say, a conference that you wouldn't normally put yourself into a college classroom for a certain degree, right? Like just putting yourself in spaces where it feels a little bit intimidating because you know you're going to have to stretch and grow in order to really thrive in that environment. When we do this, a lot of times we will have people mirror to us things that we weren't aware of before that create either a positive reaction or a negative reaction. And a lot of times, if it creates a negative reaction in us, there are a few reasons, but a lot of times it's because they are mirroring something that we weren't aware of before, that they now have helped bring up to our awareness, and we either like that we see it or we don't. So in this particular instance with the women that are in the hybrid experience, a lot of times there is a lot of relatability, right? So we do a blend of, in the group coaching, teaching, where I teach a topic, and then we get right to coaching them on what's coming up after they've kind of learned the topic. And we pull out all of the ways that they are limiting themselves. So there are a few that actually get coached and are in the hot seat, and there are, a few that are the bystanders, the people watching, listening, and supporting. And I will tell you that when you are the bystander, a lot of times you are experiencing accelerated growth. And the reason being is because things start landing for you faster when your brain is not in the hot seat. So you witness the vulnerability of someone else and what they have going on, and then you recognize where maybe you can relate to those patterns. So in this particular instance, it was very triggering for some of my clients because while my clients were sharing some of the things that they were unintentionally tolerating, there were a lot of head nods in the room where other women realized, yes, this is me too, and I don't like that this is me. Therefore, it was a very triggering experience to see that someone else's behavior that they saw as self-sabotaging was also their behavior as well. So whenever we have this experience, it can be very, very challenging in our self-growth, but it also can be very powerful. So what I want to say, if you are ever in this situation, no matter what powerful rooms you're putting yourself in, that you don't shy away from the triggers that you feel, that instead you rise up and really look as an observer as to why you feel triggered the way that you do. Because those triggers are actually teachers for you. It shows you what kind of things you're tolerating in your life that maybe you don't want to be. And the second thing that I want to say about this is that a lot of times what happens in the group setting specifically is that you really get to know the people that you're around, and a lot of times you feel their energy and you get to know them and you see so much potential in them. And then at the same time, you start witnessing their own brain bully. Okay, so this means like you see how they're self-sabotaging themselves, and it becomes disappointing because it's like, oh my gosh, I see so much potential in you. I know that you can do it. Like you have an amazing, light about you. Like there's no reason you can't go after everything that you want in life. And you're watching their brain be a total bully to themselves. And then the realization kicks in of, oh my God, I'm doing this as well. This is probably what they see inside of me as well. And it becomes this very frustrating, triggering thing where you realize not only are you watching someone else hold themselves back, but you get slapped in the face with how much you're holding yourself back from your potential. So it's a very powerful thing whenever we do feel triggered. And something else that I talked about in the Equip Society, which is another program that I have, we were talking about money and just money triggers and why some people have a really hard time, spending on themselves and their limits around money. Something that we talked about is, when you are triggered maybe by someone's lifestyle, that those triggers can be a very good thing, because sometimes it's not showing you, what you don't want. Sometimes it's highlighting the very things you do want, but that you're holding yourself back from. Okay, so sometimes whenever we see other people and how they're living, we might feel triggered and we might have negative thoughts about them. We might find ourselves feeling jealous or envious about what kind of lifestyle they're living. And we might have a lot of judgments about it as well, right? Like, why do they spend that way? Or what, that's so wasteful, or that makes no sense. But if we are willing to look deeper into why we have those judgments, and rather than just dismiss the negative emotions we may be feeling in our body, if instead we get really curious and we say, why do I think this way? Why am I judging them? Why am I having these thoughts in my mind about their behavior or the way that they live? Sometimes it is highlighting things that you want for your life or things you wish you could experience, and it feels so unattainable and so far away that instead it feels like this negative experience in your body. But a lot of times, if you get curious, you can decide whether something that you're seeing in someone else is a trigger because you want it and you wish you could have it and you can't figure out how to get it, or if it is showing you something in their lifestyle you really don't want and you really don't align with. So when it comes to self-growth and self-awareness, triggers can be such a powerful thing for us to explore. And in the hybrid experience specifically, it's set up to where you have, you're experiencing accelerated growth by being in the group, but then we also come together one-on-one so we can discuss what things are coming up as the aftermath of diving so deep into a topic, whether you're the one being coached in the group or you're watching someone else get coached. So it's a really well-rounded experience for, I think, your brain, your mind, body, soul kind of experience, just because it is both healing and sometimes triggering. But what it's ultimately doing is raising your self-awareness at an accelerated level. It's helping you see your stuff much faster. And once you see it, the annoying thing about self-awareness is once you see it, if you continue to dismiss the things you see, it's really a sign of self-sabotage, right? It's very much like ignorance is bliss sometimes, right? Whenever we are ignorant to something, we don't have to change it. So the annoying thing sometimes about doing this work is once you see it, it really becomes a decision of, do I continue to tolerate this behavior within myself, or do I really want it to change? And why is my brain fighting me so hard on becoming this version of myself that can go out and create a life that feels really good to me and, decide the things that I want to experience with my time here? So all of that to say, if you are finding that in your growth journey, you're triggered by different things and you're having an emotional reaction, whether it's negative or even positive sometimes, if you can turn inward and look at the reason why, explore why, that can be such a powerful experience for you to see what is it that you really, really want. Why are those triggers there? What are you holding yourself back from experiencing? Or on the flip side of that, what things is it maybe showing you that you want more of or don't want more of? The things that maybe you're like, that is a hell no for my life. I don't align with that at all. So triggers can be a very powerful thing if you use them to your advantage. Again, this is not speaking of trauma triggers. It's more so speaking of self-growth triggers. Very, very powerful. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Have a great week. Bye. Hey there. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of This Is Not Your Practice Life podcast. If you'd like to connect on social media, you can find me on both Instagram and Facebook at Macy Renee Coaching. And if you want to stay up to date on all of my offers, announcements, and inspirational emails, you can join my email list at macyrenee.com. In addition, if there's a way that I can further support you in your coaching journey, you can schedule a free 60-minute consult at macyrenee.com anytime you want so we can discuss the best options for you. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.